are women and mom-owned businesses, and what I do is I help them in aligning their personal brand, which is them as an individual, with their company's brand. And an extension of that is a signature program that I started about 2 years ago. Here's my daughter, Savannah. She's 4. Say hi. But before I had her, I had my own business. I was able to do different, networking things, go to different events like with the chamber and SCORE and SBA like that. But when I had her, because she was at home with me, I wasn't able to do those traditional things. But I knew at some point I wanted to, get back connected in the business world. So after talking to some other moms, doing some research, I ended up creating my company's signature program, which is Mentoring Mamas. And with Mentoring Mamas is a peer-to-peer mentoring program. There's a couple of moms in here that are part of that program. But basically what we do is we meet once a month. The moms are allowed to bring their kids to the meetings. We also have a Facebook page where we stay connected. So it's almost like a support system in a sense. We encourage one another. And we just understand, when you're around other people that are going through similar situations or like-minded, it's nice to be able to kind of, talk to them about different things and have that support with them. And one of the things that I started, actually because of my daughter, I guess it's been about 4 because she's 4 now. I think I had my last relaxer maybe a couple weeks, a month after I had her. And then I organically ended up going natural, not because it was something I just did, wanted to do, but the last relaxer that I had, it just burnt my scalp really, really bad. And so I don't know if it was because of hormone changes or whatever. And then of course, because I had her, she was a newborn, she's our only child, I didn't want to go sit in a salon for 10 hours. So just over time, I just didn't go back to get one. And in talking with friends and looking online, you see so much about natural hair now. Within the last 5 years, it's kind of exploded, like it's a movement or something. I don't know. But, so I would experiment, try different products, do different things. And even though I wanted to this is actually the 3rd workshop that I've had specifically on natural hair. Even though the topic is about natural hair, what I also wanted to do was, even though we were talking about natural hair, it was more so about you as a person, how you feel about yourself. Do you have confidence in yourself, whether your hair is straight, curly, natural, perm? And so it's more about how you feel about yourself as opposed to how your hair is. But one of the things that happened with me when I did go natural, I kind of felt like it was I don't know, like a freeing type moment. I don't know how to explain it because it didn't feel like, excuse me, I had to be, I guess, conform to how everybody else was, being. And so I was just kind of me, it's flaws, whatever. This is, who I am. This is the hair that I was born with type of situation. And so that's why I ended up having these different workshops. And I actually partnered with Martine on this particular one because we're going to do some demos and show you some recipes of some things that you can do at home, things you have in your kitchen. And you'll probably hear us say this throughout, but the things that you put in your body also reflect, what's going on the outside, whether it's your skin, your weight, the way your hair is growing, that sort of thing. And so we're going to talk about those things today. And then, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I know you see a couple of people in here today with the Naturally Confident shirt on. I actually, I guess, designed this when I was doing those series of workshops. And once again, it's kind of a play on being natural, having the natural hair, but at the end of the day, it's more about, you being who you are, you being confident and okay with who you are, not because of what other people say or what other people tell you, but you're okay with who you are in whatever, state you're in at that particular time in your life. And so now I want to give Martine a quick minute to introduce herself, and then we're going to do a quick icebreaker.
Hi everyone, my name is Martine. I was very happy to meet Felicia. I was actually introducing someone to essential oils, and she came over. She actually knew them, And so I'm glad that she's partnering with me today to do this workshop because I love everything natural, whether it's inside and outside. And of course, we need both of those, as Felicia was saying. I have been natural for quite some time now, a couple of years. I was doing perms, just different things, braids, and then I noticed that I was getting a bald spot. And so when I ended up going to the dermatologist, they were like, "You have alopecia." So that was like a new thing in and of itself. So of course, I continued to braid. Of course, I stopped perming right away. But coming up on these oils, realizing that whether it's a carrier oil or an essential oil can really help the growth of your hair and the strength of your hair. So I love that about them. I really started using essential oils because my son was constantly getting ear infections. So for me, it was like he was going on his third, I would say, try of antibiotics. Almost going his third time. It was like back-to-back months. And he was 4. And I'm like, well, I don't want to keep doing this. So a lady introduced me. She was like, why don't you use oils? And I was like, really? But I mean, I've always used essential oils before, but never did I know you could use them for so many different things. It's a like peppermint or eucalyptus when they were sick or whatever. But now I use them for everything. So long story short, with his ear infection, I used basil oil on him. And the next day he would say, "Mommy, I felt better." He wasn't in any pain. He wasn't any, fevers or anything. I don't know how much you guys are familiar with essential oils, but when you use essential oils, you want to make sure you get a good therapeutic grade oil, because not all oils are created equal. Some people think I go to Amazon and buy oils or whatever. I do work, or I'm a wellness advocate for a multi-level marketing company called Latera. I don't know if many of you heard about them, but they sell therapeutic grade oils. And some people think you can go on Amazon, but they don't sell on Amazon. So people, recap their stuff and put different things in them to kind of stretch, whatever they want to sell. But I love what the oils can do, for your skin, for your hair. Also internally, it's great just, depending on what you're dealing with at the time. Everyone knows, what your concerns are. And if you have any questions as far as, okay, what can I use for the oils, you can definitely ask me. I give you a sheet that you can go kind of look over the different areas of the oils. But what we're going to do today is incorporate them in what we're making, the shea butter and the flaxseed and the hair oil. So I have a couple of oils that I brought with me, and you're going to pretty much pick what oils would work best for you. I'm going to kind of go over which ones would be better for that. Like lavender is good if you have like dry hair. Rosemary is good if you have like more hair thinning. Tea tree is also good as well. I have ylang, which is great for hair growth. So I have a couple of those oils, and also for the shea butter, you can play with different things like peppermint and lavender, of course. Any other citrus oils like orange or lime, lemongrass, I love. So so definitely gonna play with some oils so that you can get the smell. Put in your own mixture of what you would like of your oils. I would say you can use 2 to 3 oils, and then you can get up to 10 to 15 drops total.
Thank you, Martine. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is the icebreaker. I want everyone to introduce themselves and using the first letter of your name, pick a word that describes your hair. Okay, you got it? Introduce yourself using the first letter of your first name. Pick a word that describes your hair or how you feel about your hair.
Interesting.
I can share that and go with Jay. Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I think that my hair is jazzy.
I'll take that.
Okay. Yeah. I think my hair is jazzy.
Okay, Katrina.
Yeah. I'm new to this. Hi everyone, my name is Katrina, and I would just say I don't know if it's
I know.
can I just use
No cheating.
I would just go with K for kinky.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll take that. I like that. Okay. And tell me your name again.
My name's Belinda.
Belinda.
And you know what? I was thinking more of what my hair used to be, and I would like for it to be. Is font really?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I would like. That's what I'm working for.
Okay. I'll take that. Okay, next.
My hair is lion because you know,
Are you saying like no lie, like for no perm?
no, I'd say that it's for like a lion.
Oh, okay.
Lioness.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that. I'll take that. Okay.
My name is Kenya. That's what mine. I would know my hair is kinky.
Okay. Okay, next. Oh, your video taping.
My name's Brooke Countess, and my hair is vivacious.
Okay.
Ooh,
I like
that's
that.
good. My name's Carmina, and I've been thinking, and I'm like, ah! And I came up with something really simple. I don't know if it describes it sometimes. I'm crunchy. Right.
Okay.
Well, my name is Orjanette, and my hair is organically oily.
Okay.
Oh, my. I can't think it was M. Somebody help me out. M, wow.
Managed.
Managed.
There you go.
It is manageable.
And usually we're saying unmanageable.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
That's
Okay.
good.
And Felicia.
I know. I'm trying to videotape this thing. Frizzy.
Frizzy.
It gets very
Yeah.
frizzy. Okay. Okay. So one more thing before we start, because I kind of want to test your knowledge. Savannah, you want to come help me pass these out to everybody? Okay. So we're gonna play an unscramble game. That's the answer. I almost handed it out. Just give one to everybody, okay?
Thank you, Savannah.
And everybody has a pen, something to write with. Go take the rest of them. Go take the rest of them. There's only two more behind you. Oh, and you have to give one to Miss Alexia. How many do you have? Did you give one to me?
Thank you. Okay. It's not doing it.
No, not yet. Don't start yet.
Okay, we're not
starting.
starting.
And give one to Miss Alexia.
Yes. Get prepared.
Okay. Okay. Before we start, the natural hair scramble game is things about your hair, things you put in your hair, things you can do to your hair. So think in those terms. And I'm going to give you, I'll be nice and give y'all 2 minutes. Last time I only gave everybody 1 minute. So, okay,
Oh
wait,
my
let me
gosh.
start the timer. Okay. And go. Yeah, I know. than a minute left. Less than 30 seconds left. Wow. Okay, how many do we have? 20. Okay, who got all 20 right?
God.
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness.
15.
That was tough.
12. No.
Almost had.
11.
Almost
Wow.
Who
had.
has 11?
That's good.
So we got a tie for 3 with 11. Okay, Katrina, you want to tell you? Or? Okay, tell me what yours are.
Okay, number 1 is natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
2 is coconut oil.
Yes.
3 is 2 strand twist.
Mm-hmm.
3 is shea butter. 4 is shea butter.
Mm-hmm.
5 is porosity.
Mm-hmm.
6 is tea tree oil. 7 is kinky. Number 12 is avocado.
Okay.
14 is moisture. 15 is bantu knots. I'm not sure about 16. I just tried to make something up. But 19 is washing up.
Okay. You said 11? Okay.
Because I don't know what 16 is.
Because you wasn't sure about 16. Okay, Kenya?
I have natural hair,
Mm-hmm.
coconut oil, shea butter, tea oil, avocado, argan oil, split ends, and washing up.
Okay. All right. And
I got the same thing she
The same
has,
thing she
except Bantu knot is in there
okay.
for 15.
Okay. All right. I will give y'all the answer key. And I'll have to think of something to split a tie. Number 1 is natural hair, 2 coconut oil, 3 two strand twist, 4 shea butter, 5 porosity, 6 tea tree oil, 7 kinky, 8 honey, 9 shrinkage, 10 frohop, 11 water, 12 avocado, 13 co-wash, 14 moisture, 15 bantu knots, 16 argan oil, ARGAN, 17 creamy crack.
That's
That's
right. I
what
was
you
trying to
remember from
remember that
last
one.
year.
Yes,
Had
that's
that.
what I was trying to
Had that
remember
one.
that part.
18 split ends, 19 wash and go, and 20 banding. And
What?
banding
What's that?
is
Banding?
actually, and I didn't bring it with me today, but banding is a way that you can, because a lot of times you'll hear that
Banding.
when you have natural hair, because it needs to be moisturized, so you should use less heat. So you don't want to use a lot. So it's a way to stretch your hair without using heat. And basically how I do, because I did mine last night. But what I do is I section it in different parts, and I actually will twist different sections and then group some. And it's like it's not a rubber band. Help me out. What is it? What is the little? It's like the little elastic ponytail holders, basically, but not with the metal, not with the little metal
Yeah.
clip, because you can buy them anywhere. But I know I've seen some, but very rarely.
You can-
Not the scrunches. It doesn't have all the fabric on it. It's just really, and I
usually
didn't
have
bring one
one.
with me, and
Yeah,
I don't think I
I
have one in
usually have
Savannah's
one.
here.
I think is it the black
Yes,
Yeah,
the black
ones
ones
The
with
black,
the.
yeah, the
well, they
black
have different colors, but
rosemary.
not the ones with all that fabric.
But not all the
Right,
fabric,
it's
right,
almost,
just-
but you want to
I
get
know what
ones
you're
that's
talking about.
stretchy.
Yeah.
And so what you
That's
do
good.
is you basically wrap it around, and I usually use, depending on the length of your hair, I usually use 2, and then it goes off. So it's basically just stretching your hair out. Because I have the type of hair, like it shrinks, so it's a lot of shrinkage. So it would
Right.
just be not matted down, but it would look shorter than it is now. So it's just stretching it out, but without you putting heat on it. Because depending on type of hair you have, heat can damage your hair. I mean, sometimes you can use the heat, and we can talk about that later. I don't know. We can have all day to talk about different things you can do, but the less heat, because your hair when your hair is natural, it can be dry. So you don't want to do dry and heat, because then you can cause breakage. So you just have to be careful. So that's just one way that I do to kind of stretch my hair out. So that's what banding is. And before Martine starts, I just wanted to share something with you guys really quickly. Just a couple of things that I have done. And I'm by no means an expert, but this is just things that I found out, or through trial and error, experimenting, that have worked for me over the past 4 years of me being natural. Trying to bring my phone up because I had taken a picture of it and I didn't get a chance. Okay. And you saw the word, and I don't know if you might be better at explaining this, because I just found out about it a couple weeks ago. But the porosity, I don't know, have you guys heard about that, or as you're doing research? So the porosity, and tell me if I'm explaining it right. The porosity, it's good to know what your hair porosity is, because it helps you better determine what kind of oils or products to use in your hair. So you can do, I've seen like 2 or 3, but the main one I've seen is it's a porosity hair test that you can do at home. And I wish I would have brought in a clear bottle, but basically you just take a couple of strands of your hair and you drop it in water. I think it needs to be room temperature.
Well,
The hair needs to be clean. I remember
yeah.
that part. So it's better to do it on freshly washed hair, and not chemicals, but not product in it. So it's better to do it on freshly washed hair.
make sure that the hair is clean, because when we put the chemicals on it and the oils and the different things, you're going to get a false reading. You really want to accurate, and it could be room temperature, the water, never hot, never cold, just room temperature. Put the hair in a clear glass, and as you see your hair floating to the very top, that means that you have low porous hair, which means that, do you want me to go ahead and explain?
Yeah.
Okay. Which means that the cuticles are very tight, and whenever you put product on it, it's going to sit on the hair and not go in the shaft. So that's very important to know about your hair care regimen, because if you walk around and you got all these little white dots in your hair and saying, oh, your hair is dirty, what's going on? But that's important, because that kind of tells you the chemistry of your hair and the makeup of your hair, and if you can handle protein. So looking at products that have a lot of protein in it, it's not going to be great for you, because it's going to cause a pop factor, okay? Because your hair is protein already. So if you have medium to low porous, your hair is going to float to the bottom, which means you can put anything on your hair. It's not going to make a difference, and protein is great, okay? But for those who are on the top, it's like finding products that work for you is a real complicated problem. So what I tell people to do, because I'm an organic natural girl, look for products
And a quick
have.
plug, this is her guide to natural hair transition, so we'll talk about that.
Look for products that have humectant. That word is going to be extremely important to you, humectant, because it's going to draw the moisture from the atmosphere and bring it into your hair, okay? It's humectant, I believe. Humectant. And that would be coconut oils and aloe vera, a couple of other products.
Glycerin.
But glycerin is definitely a great
Are
humectant.
those more heavier oils? Because I was reading something too about using heavier versus light.
Well,
lighter
I'm going
oils.
to tell you, the heavy oil that I use is the castor oil.
Okay.
That is very heavy.
It can be for more like
it's gonna weigh it down. But the whole thing about the porosity is what really balances you off. Because if you can't handle all of that protein and all that other stuff, you're just not gonna get what you're trying to get.
Right.
Your hair will pop very easily, especially when it's hot outside now. That's a big change. I was just explaining to her, aloe vera is a very good thing that we need to start incorporating into our hair care because it will help with UV rays and the dryness and the breakage. Yes. Yes.
Even in the shea butter.
Yeah. So, I mean, this education that you're given is so extremely important because we just don't know. And when you go to the beauticians, they're not going to tell you any of this stuff. And I go sometimes, I'm like, so what are you telling your natural hair clients? And
I
they're
think
like,
it's because they don't know, because they weren't trained
they
in
weren't.
it. And it's so a lot of times I found, and I, to be honest, have only gone maybe 3-4 times during my natural hair care journey, but only to get it flat ironed. And it seems like that's all they do. So
Right.
I've just been, talking to friends or a lot of experiment, trial and error. So
it's true.
yes.
Myself,
Mm-hmm.
myself, it took me a long time.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So when I decided to go natural, I got such a chemical burn that I knew I had to go.
Right.
To get out of it. So I went to a hairstylist for 2 years, and she tried to do what she did when it was perm,
But it was
natural,
different.
and that
Yeah.
was like I was spending $80, and I still looked like I had no hair done.
Right.
Still looked fuzzy.
Right.
I did.
Right.
So I told her, I said, I love you, but I gotta find somebody that can do my hair. Oh, you can do. No, I can't. I have that mixed hair. It's not where it gets like hers, but it'll break after a while.
Right.
It's
Right.
soft.
Right.
So what I did was I just shop around. I talked to a friend. She's like, look, I know somebody that she gets her hair done and it looks like she gets it done. Stop lying. I've seen hairs that are done by people. It's chemical. No. I said, well, give her my name and number. I need to find her hairdresser. And I found this young lady. She was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
I went with her for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she left, because it's so hard in Jacksonville to find a
Yeah.
you're wondering, okay, who do I show?
Right.
So it was like, she could send you here and there. I said, look, I got to find somebody. So I went out and found another hairstylist. And I've stuck with her for the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard. If
Right.
you really want a hairstyle, because I've tried to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
My hair doesn't do that. My hair goes from back to this big woolly thing. I
Right.
look like I can dust
And
somebody
everybody's
out.
everybody's hair is
I don't.
different
The
and
humidity is killer for me.
yeah.
So once I found that right hairstyle, it's like, look, find a place, stick to it, because I can't do my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use a lot of products because it either weighs it down,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like she said, that protein, it's like I have enough, I can't add more to it.
No,
Right.
The hair will just do nothing.
Right.
So, yeah, to get that kink, that it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
When you find that right hairstylist,
Yeah.
stick with it, and you will travel to find it. So,
Mhm.
thank God I have 2 hairstylists. That one will come to Jacksonville,
Mhm.
and the other one I just go find her.
Okay.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
good. Katrina, you had your hand
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You said that if the hair flows to the top, you have low porosity,
Mm-hmm.
but then if it flows to the bottom, it's low or medium porosity.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is it the bottom that is high and the top is low?
So medium to high.
If it
Because
goes
I
to the
just came
bottom,
across it.
if it goes to the bottom, that means your porosity is balanced. It's either medium or high. Low
Medium
at the
or high?
top. Low is always at the top.
Yeah. Okay. And then these are just a couple of other tips. And I think Orjanette, you said this too. When I started kind of and then you don't really know when you have when you're transitioning, or either you do the big chop, but you don't really know, I guess, the texture of your hair until after it kind of, all the perm is gone. But I talked to a couple of friends, because I actually talked to one girl who I went to high school with, and she would always talk about it, and I actually got a lot of great tips from her. But try to maybe talk to somebody who you think maybe has similar hair to yours, because that helps. Because sometimes, and I know I've noticed too, I'm like, how does she get her hair like that? And you ask questions,
Right.
but you guys have 2 totally different textures, and What they did to their hair is not gonna work with your hair. So try talking to somebody with similar hair. One of my go-to out of any products is a spray water bottle. Like I'm constantly, especially during the summertime because it's so hot and it just evaporates quickly. I used to run around the house with Savannah spraying her hair, and so just straight water. Sometimes people will do like a I don't know if it's like a moisturizer or conditioning type, because you talked about it. Leave-in conditioner, but I just use straight water, and water is like the best ingredient that you can use, spray-wise and drinking it, because as I mentioned before, and I'm not a nurse, but this is just I know from experience, what you're doing, I guess, as far as what you're eating, exercising, genetic stress, that's what, from the inside out, basically. So water is very big. The other thing is you could try something one time and it doesn't work. You could try it again and it works. So it's really a lot of trial and error. So try not to get frustrated. And like I said, I'm big on, and I don't do it as much, but I used to watch like a bunch of YouTube videos. I'm like, how did they do, to make it look easy? And you're like, and I tried it and I'm like, oh no, this is an epic video.
That ain't gonna work.
Right. So it does become a lot of trial and error. As I mentioned, even if that person has similar hair to yours, you also have to take into consideration genetics, if you're under a lot of stress, hormones, whether it's during pregnancy or whatever, you have to take those things into consideration. The other thing I wanted to mention is, and we're getting ready to do our mixing and our everything, but application of products. And I think I have low price, and it's so funny that you say that now, because I used to put, and that's why I used to kind of stay away from the moisturizers that are kind of like creamy. Because I put it in my hair and it'd be like, why do I look like I have dandruff?
Yeah,
the next day all over my hair, that type of thing.
Creamy. You wanted the cream.
Right, and so it was just, like she said, it was just sitting on my hair and not absorbing.
Yeah.
The other thing with the applying is I'm really lazy when it comes to my hair. Like, I think sometimes I like to do it just to see how it comes out, but I'm lazy with, I think, the application, so I would just put it all over as opposed to maybe parting it in sections and doing a little bit at a time. And the rule of thumb, I think, for everyone, and you can comment on this, less is probably more a lot of times, because what all you're doing, if you put so much, you're just build up. The other thing that I learned is some products don't play well together. So like when you mix them, then you get that white consistency and things like that. So those are just a couple of rules of thumb and things that I've experienced that I've noticed. And we talked about the banding method. And then also I'll mention really quickly, I went to it was a natural hair, the International Natural Hair.
Meetup.
There's this young lady, I can't remember where she's from, but basically it was a natural hair day, May 21st. May 21st.
Yeah, but
think it was
the
the
real
21st.
date, I think, is like the end of May, like the
end of
30th,
May,
the
okay.
real national,
Right.
international day.
But there's a young lady that started something. So basically, it was like a national, international day where no matter where you were, there was natural events and things going around. So there was one in Jacksonville, and me and Savannah actually went to it, and that's where I met Orjanette
Orjanette.
Orjanette. And she actually, she's a nurse, and that's one of the things that I liked about her. She's also considers herself a mixologist. Is that correct?
Well,
I know you mentioned that somewhere because I saw the word.
You want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, you can, and you can tell them about
This is so
the and
crazy.
just tell her about, or tell them about the book.
I wanna just say this was my first trial in it. Okay, I had never written a book before. I never thought about it. People were like Felicia was like, you got some information you need to share with people. So I was like, okay, so I'll become this natural hair consultant. And I realized that it was a movement, like you said. Everybody wanted to go natural. They wanted to understand about how to embrace their natural hair and how they wanted to become empowered. That was so important. And I was like, I got to teach people how to stay that way and be healthier. Because my focus as a nurse was, how do we maintain a good health? products that we use can actually enhance that. But this book was my journey. Learning about natural hair. How do we understand what this stuff does and what it can do? What's the possibility? You know, how can I set realistic